Hmm. It's definitely was like a hot button issue with the fans because it was definitely big hit time on social media and stuff. But one thing that kind of alarmed me was when Josh Mathews was kind of getting involved and kind of saying stuff on Twitter. Was that a work, or was he legitimately like, having a beef with you?
No, that was legitimate. I mean, he even texted me after that first exchange. I think he kind of knew he fucked up from like for lack of better words, I apologize, but I think he knew he kind of made a bad move from a PR standpoint because like he probably spoke without thinking how that's going to play out, and I tried to respond in such a way that kept it positive, and tried to kind of curtail everything. And kind of if there was any frustration or anything that was discouraging before I left, is that I was doing everything I could to professionally work for everyone. And it seemed like everybody was taking things personally and unprofessionally. Like, so like he would say something like that, and I would find a good way to respond that doesn't paint the company or him or anybody in a bad light, but also keeps the focus on positive things for the fans and the support they're giving, which is, it's hard to do. It's so, like, PR is such a landmine because it's constantly changing with how the world changes, So, I would do this at every step and then get something back from, either quietly from the office or from, in this case with Josh. And I'm like, God, but you guys gotta, you gotta work with me here. Like, I'm trying not to let you guys look bad, but you're making yourselves look bad. Like, I don't know how to help that. But he even texted me afterward and said, a lot more along the same lines of that stuff, and he calmed down a little bit, but you could kind of tell he was legitimately a little bit upset and perturbed. I think he was upset that he was kind of left holding the bag on commentary because John and the writing team didn't think people cared enough about me to be vocal about it, and I told them they probably would. So in advance, I said, before any of that happens, when it does, let's create something from it, Mm-hmm. You guys can bury me on purpose, like make it something good, and you could pay it off later. I know you have to use canned footage of me in the mask, but we can create something from that. And they said, no, we don't think that that's a good idea. And they thought that if they were to kind of turn it into a story, it would be like a black eye for the company, like it would look bad. And I was like, you guys get bad press every day. This is at least something that you guys can, like, no, I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, every day, like, we would take our daily L from something, and I'm like, this is at least something you can control. People will get a payoff in the end. And, they said no, and they didn't think people would care anyway. It turns out they did. One of the things Josh had said to me in the text after the Twitter exchange is that people aren't going to, even though people are talking now, they're not going to care in a few months. And I think it's people care more now than they did then. And so, I just, it was just a little frustrating, I guess, because, I did my best to get everybody, as far as people, like fans and the support, on the same page as far as I don't want to leave. The company is not bad. I want to give you what you want, and I'm trying to do that. And everybody was in support of that. No fans were asking me to quit or leave. They weren't saying, like, F TNA, you should go to NXT or something like that. They genuinely wanted me to stay, and it's like, it's like people asking Coca-Cola for more Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola saying no. Like, they own a commodity that they could give people, and people are asking for it, and they refuse to do it. You can't help that,
Yeah, there's nothing kind of you could do. It's kind of on them at that point. And obviously, they were using a lot of canned footage, and he did have to kind of make an excuse of why you were in the mask.